NCAA basketball totals for Tuesday, November 29th. We got 4 games on the card. We're just going to jump right in. Don't forget to check out SBR for all the totals, odds, sportsbook, sign-up bonuses, and don't forget to check out our NBA segment as well. We got 4 games up. Here we go. First one up we got is Rhode Island and Valparaiso. Oddsmakers have it at 138. I'm going to go under that total. Right now, Rhode Island, they're loaded they're going to make some noise there in the A10. They're averaging 82.2 points per game. Valparaiso's averaging 75 points per game. Now, Valparaiso, they're picked to win the Summit, and they got some guys back. Of course, their coach is now at Vanderbilt. Drew, I think it's Bryce Drew, but yeah, he's now at Vanderbilt. Still, they got some guys back. They have a good squad, and both these teams play D. You got Rhode Island right now. They're allowing opponents just 69 points per game. Valpo is allowing opponents 70 points per game. But then we get into their percentages. I really like it. Valparaiso, they're allowing opponents to shoot just 41.8% from the floor. That's going to be crucial against a Rhode Island team that, again, is talented and shoots 50% overall. More defensive stats, you got Rhode Island, they're allowing opponents to shoot under 41% from the floor. And right now, Valparaiso offensively not shooting lights out, just over 41% overall. Defensively, you look at these games, as far as the matchup goes, right now, and the total actually is really what I want to talk about because the number seems a little bit off. You got it at 138. Right now, Rhode Island has not been under 138 all season in their 6 games. And they're 5-1 with their only loss to Duke. So that gives me a little bit of pause. But you look at these defensive numbers these teams have, and I think we're going to stay under this total. Some good matchups in this ballgame. So I'm going to be going under the total with Valparaiso and Rhode Island under the 138. Next one up we got is Houston and LSU. Oddsmakers have it at 150, and I think that's too low. I think this is going to be an absolute track meet. I'm going to go over the total 150 with LSU and Houston. Right now, Houston's averaging 85.2 points per game. LSU is averaging 72.3 points per game. But the tempo they allow is really solid, and both these teams can shoot. LSU is allowing 71.2 points per game. That's not great. Houston, they're allowing just 58 points per game. But this is at LSU, and LSU pushes tempo, and they can flat out score. Right now, Houston, they're averaging 51.4% overall shooting from the floor. That ranks 8th in the country. LSU, not bad at all, shooting 46% from the floor. Houston, defensively, they've been really good, but they really haven't played anybody. The best team they played so far this year is Vermont, a game in which they won 72-71 on a neutral floor. So this is going to be a very different matchup for them. LSU's got some good talent, pretty young talent. Houston's been able to score the ball. What I like, though, is the tempo. You got Houston averaging 63.4 attempts per game, and LSU allowing over 63 attempts per game. On the other end of the spectrum, Houston hasn't allowed a lot of attempts, but they haven't played LSU, a team that's really fast. And the matchups we see that they've played so far, have been, again, against really lower-tiered opponents, but they can put up some points. Houston can flat out put up some points. So I expect for them to score tonight against LSU, and I expect for LSU to score since they're at home tonight to go ahead and put up some good numbers to get us over this 150. So I'm going to back over the total with LSU and Houston over that 150. Next one up we got is Davidson and Mercer. Oddsmakers have this really low at 131, and it doesn't really seem to make sense at first, but I'm going to go under the total because both these teams can actually play some really solid defense. Right now we got Davidson averaging 76 points per game. Bob McKillop, great coach for them, and they're going to be tough in the A10. Mercer, they're averaging just 65 points per game, but defensively, they're both solid. Davidson's allowing 64 points per game. Davidson's allowing 68 points per game. Mercer's allowing 64. But percentage-wise, you got Mercer allowing opponents to shoot just 38.5% from the field. Davidson's allowing opponents to shoot just 36.9% from the field. That ranks 16th in the country. That is solid. Then we look at their latest performances defensively. Davidson, their last 3 games, they've allowed 57, 60, and 55 points. They've been really, really good. Mercer as well. They've allowed 65, 66, 47, 67. These two teams can play some D. Davidson's going to try and push the tempo, but this is at Mercer. So I believe Mercer's going to be able to control it a little bit better being at home. And I like for this to stay under the total. And the last one up we got under that 131. Really good game here. Although Duke's going to win because they're at home. Michigan State and Duke. 144.5. That's a little too much for me, and I'm going to go under the total. Both these teams play some underrated defense. And I know you want to go over the total because Michigan State and Duke, but I don't think they're going to get there. Right now we got Michigan State averaging 71 points per game. Duke. They're averaging 85.6 points per game, but Duke is allowing just 63.6 points per game. So they're getting it done on both ends of the floor. Well, they're arguably the best team in the country, so it makes sense. Michigan State, they're allowing just 67.3 points per game. This could be a pretty good matchup. Michigan State's a little bit too young, though, to go in and upset Duke. I don't think it's going to happen. Duke right now, they're allowing opponents to shoot just 25% from distance as well. They rank 28th in the country in opponent shooting efficiency, and they're also allowing opponents to shoot just over 39% from the floor. That's going to be crucial against a Michigan State team that's pretty efficient, shooting about a 47% clip. But it's at Duke. That's going to be tough. This is a tough road game. Well, it's always tough when you have to go to Duke. Neither team is pushing actually a lot of tempo, with Michigan State getting up just 55 attempts per game and Duke getting up just over 59 attempts per game. So that 144.5, that's a lot of points. Finally, we got Duke. Of course, they're shooting well. They're Duke, 48% from the floor, but Michigan State, they're allowing opponents to shoot just 38.4%. So, I think this is going to be a little bit better defensive battle than people anticipate. They're going to score. I just don't think they're going to get to 144.5. They are going to score some points, though, because they're both talented. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's going to stay under. So there's our 4 plays for today. All right, let's recap it. We got Rhode Island and Valparaiso under the 138. This is a really underrated matchup here. Houston, LSU over the 150. This also, we're going to learn a lot about Houston in this game. Davidson and Mercer under the 131, and what I think is going to be a really good defensive battle. And Michigan State and Duke under the 144.5. Those are our 4 NCAA basketball total plays. And I wish you luck on your picks today.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SBR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.